Are you feeling a pull to take a little mental break from social media? Well, you're not alone. For all the amazing qualities that comes with social media, consistent scrolling and engaging can definitely leave you feeling anxious, drained, dissatisfied. So, we challenge you to challenge yourself and give it a rest with your beloved apps. Welcome back, Psychos. Today we'll be discussing 10 tips and tricks that will help you achieve your social media detox this year. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, as well as click the notification bell so that you never miss a video. Number 1. Identify what apps you're using most. The first and most crucial step to a social media detox is identifying which apps or websites you find yourself to be scrolling through the most. This won't be too difficult. In fact, you can probably figure out which apps are your go-tos just by thinking about it on the spot. Not to mention, most of our phones track our apps' usage automatically, and if you're courageous enough to look at the data, you'll probably be surprised by how much time you really do devote to these apps. Identifying the apps you use the most will not only help you with the actual detox itself, but it will put things into perspective for you. You'll begin thinking, how many other things could I have done with all those hours spent scrolling? And this thought process will remain effective as long as your social media detox has ended, which will help with your scrolling tendencies in the future. Number 2. Delete those apps. Okay, before you start thinking, yeah, right, there's no way I can quit cold turkey, let's just reassure you that these are temporary measures. We promise you will survive. So you've identified the apps that soak up the most of your time, and now it's time to take action. Go ahead and tell your friends that if they need you, they call or text, because deleting your beloved apps is a key step in the social media detox process. Give yourself a realistic goal of how long you want your detox to last. 12, 24 hours is usually a good starting point. Simple yet challenging. Even deleting these apps for a short amount of time will make the idea of limiting yourself seem so much more doable in the future. During this time of no app access, try to notice how often you think to check them in a day, what thoughts come up when you're not always distracted, and the things you've experienced by being present. Number 3. Create folders for apps. Maybe deleting those apps seems like it would be too much for you. Well, that's no excuse. An alternative for deleting the apps is to organize them into a folder named Unproductivity. Okay, you don't actually have to name your folder, but the idea of having your time-draining apps in their own semi-hidden location will take a lot of the temptation out of checking these apps. The majority of the time we check the apps out of habit. We open our phones and our brains know exactly where each app is without really thinking about it much. In other words, the process to access the apps is too easy, and we need to make it more challenging. Moving your unproductive apps into a folder is also a great measure to take permanently, once your detox is over. It also helps to be moving the folder to different areas on your phone's home screen, to add an extra step to the process, which will help you avoid the mindless habit of unnecessary app checking. Number 4. Find a detox buddy. No matter what the objective is, things like this are always easier with an accountability buddy. Someone you can complete the challenge with by offering each other support and keeping each other on track. Plan the social media detox with your accountability buddy and keep each other updated on how it's going throughout the course of the detox. Make sure you mention not only your challenges, but also the wins you experience throughout the detox. Because the challenges will be relatable and the wins will remind you why you're doing it in the first place. Make sure to celebrate together once the challenge is over. You never know, maybe you'll enjoy it so much that you and your detox buddy decide to make it a monthly occurrence. Number 5. The rubber band trick. Alright, so you've deleted the apps and you have your accountability buddy, but you can still manage to spend time on your phone, flipping through your camera roll or checking emails. So how do you stop yourself when your subconscious habit to pick up your phone comes over you? The rubber band trick. This simple trick can help you from mindlessly picking up your phone and creating a mental obstacle, and all you have to do is place a rubber band around your phone. This rubber band trick was taken from the author of How to Break Up With Your Phone, Catherine Price. She said that the purpose of it is that when you reach for your phone, there is now a physical obstacle that snaps you out of autopilot for a second and encourages you to reflect on what you're doing. Number 6. Redesign your lock screen. Redesigning your lock screen is another great obstacle that will encourage you to reflect on what you're doing and snap you out of the autopilot mode. Author Catherine Price suggests that you can create yourself a lock screen photo that prompts questions like, "Are you sure you want to scroll?" or "Do you have anything better to do?" Or you can create a challenging way to unlock your phone, which will make you stop and reflect on why you're picking up the phone in the first place. This is another great tactic to adopt even after your social media detox is complete in order to really understand your own habits. Number 8. Put your phone in another room before bed. The two worst habits when it comes to social media are scrolling before bed and scrolling when you first wake up in the morning. Yet, I think we're all guilty of this to some degree, so to avoid this issue at hand, put your phone in a different room for a couple of hours before bed. Out of sight, out of mind. If that sounds like too much to ask, you can also just move your charging station away from arm's length, which will also help in temptation. You can get a regular alarm clock, that's no excuse. It might sound simple, but the willpower to follow through with this trick can make it extremely challenging. If you manage to keep up with the tip enough to make it a habit, you'll undoubtedly feel a difference in your daily energy and your sleeping patterns. Number 9. Ask other people about your phone use. Maybe you don't think you have as much of a problem with your social media use than you actually do. Need to gain some insight? Ask the people around you. Ask your friends, your co-workers, your family, your parents, children, or whoever is closest to you. If they notice that your phone use is distracting you, you may notice you've been unknowingly ignoring people around you or checking your phone at times that are disrespectful to others. Gaining some insight into how others view you and your relationship with your cell phone can be a huge eye-opener, especially when it comes from the people you love. Use this motivation to stay on track with your social media detox and know that you're not doing it yourself alone, but for everyone around you as well. And number 10, one of the best things you can do for yourself when you're trying to manage a bad habit is to replace the time you spent on that habit with a new hobby. What have you been wanting to do but you felt you didn't have the time for it? Well, now you have the time. In fact, you'll notice you have a lot more time than you realized that you were wasting. Maybe you can even pick up a new hobby with your accountability partner, or use that time to get back in touch with a hobby that you used to be passionate about. No matter what the new hobby is, ensure it's interesting enough that it takes your mind off the social media cravings. Well, that's it for today's video, Psychos. So are you ready to challenge yourself through a social media detox? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more Psycho videos.